Hello guys and gals of the internet, I'm Mr. Wikios of YouTube, Mixer.com and Twitch TV. It is the 1st of March 2019. Welcome everyone back to Project PC. It has been quite some time, as you can see, since I announced kind of my plans for Project PC back in October of last year. And as you could probably tell from that video, that I'll put in a card up here, to just show you how different it was since the way I announced this. If you remember back in October, I announced my plans for it, but the one thing, there was a few things missing. You remember that time I was actually sitting on a chair and I had no desk, so basically I was having to hunch over like this and do the movements on the PC keyboard. Voila! As you can probably see, and have noticed since my recent channel updates, you will notice that the room is very different now. The situation is very different. I'm sitting in a gaming chair. I have a desk. I have a desk and I have a new keyboard and all sorts of stuff. So basically, I know I've probably explained this a couple of times, but let's just go over it again. It's been a while since my postponement of this project, which was very soon after that first video, actually. So let's just go through it again. So, what is Project PC? Well, it's a make-up name. I just kind of came up with it. There are a couple of reasons why I'm calling it PC specifically. Number one is basically to get to play more games on my PC, because there's no point just having a gaming PC and not using it for gaming. But as you guys know, I'm not really predominantly a PC gamer. I've never really been that. I've been more of a console gamer since I was like 5 years old, playing on the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis for you American viewers, and that's basically been it. Consoles have been my thing since then, and I think it was back in 2014 that I got my first ever game PC built by my uncle, and but I really just used it more for recording more than anything else. I think I did always try a couple of games like, say, Titanfall, and I think one in particular was Rainbow Six Phantoms that I actually had to play with a keyboard and mouse, and I completely sucked at it. But I'm not really a PC gamer at heart, meaning I don't really use keyboard and mouse to game on this. I have a Windows Xbox One kind of controller. Actually, I think it might be sitting here. It certainly is. Let me grab it. Shit. So yeah, I basically had this controller. This is what I use to predominantly play PC games on it. This is actually what I do use to say, if I'm recording my Michael Schumacher years playthrough, for example, on the early F1 games on PC, this is what I would actually use to drive the car when I'm playing those. But apart from that, I've never really played my game on my game PC predominantly for anything else, like say a first-person shooter, or stuff like that. Like I said, I think when I first got it, I think my Titanfall 1 playthrough was on it, and then that got removed and replaced with the Xbox One, or was it the other way around? I can't really tell, but even back then, I was doing camera footage, so my footage was garbage, because my camera was getting old and everything, and that was way before I even went to a direct capture setup, which is much more what I use now, really. So that's one of the main reasons why I came up with this project. But the main overall reason was, as I explained in that video I mentioned earlier, that was around the time, I think it was a few weeks before then, or maybe a week or so, that the gaming company Telltale Games actually closed down. Their studios were closed, and pretty much with that came the cancellation of games like The Wolf Among Us, and I think there was this other game that was Netflix specific or something. I think they're finishing that. And really, most notably, The Walking Dead Season 4. Now, that's aka the final season, by the way. So yeah, with that in mind, we were all like, oh my goodness, The Walking Dead's now over. Episode 2 of the final season to come out by then. And pretty much everyone had the consensus agreement that now with Telltale's closure, with all the stuff surrounding it, like no payments of severance packages, and I think the selling of the closing down of the studio was even random. I don't think anyone at the company expected it. They were all just laid off, and they didn't get paid or get paid or anything. But I wasn't really involved in that controversy. I only know what I was told on that one. But really, predominantly in a gaming sense, that meant the final season was finished after episode 2 had come up to that point, and the game was effectively done. We all kind of thought, oh, gee, we're not going to see the game end now. Which, in The Walking Dead's case, would have been very, very unfortunate, and probably a bit wrong as well. They could have at least waited until they finished the game. Because The Walking Dead has been going on for so long from Telltale that, they're 4 seasons in. This is the final season. So I think The Walking Dead season 4, or the final season, was probably something that we needed to see end as gamers, because we've been with Clementine and all her friends and other people for so long that I think we needed a resolution one way or the other. Now, as I explained in my PC postponement kind of channel update that I did, my theory with that is that Clementine isn't going to make it to the end credits. We're going to have a very season 1-esque scenario where AJ is probably going to have to either leave or kill Clementine at the end. That's basically what I think. I really think that the game is going to end that way. Season 4 has been the final season's been teasing it since the trailers, and that's my theory. I could be completely wrong. It's only just a theory, but The Walking Dead is so what's the word? It's so known for death in the story-based game that it's almost inevitable that's going to happen. I could be completely wrong. Maybe Telltale will give us a happy ending, but we don't. Well, not Telltale, but Skybound will give us a happy ending. But that's my kind of theory. But as I just said, The Walking Dead final season was saved. The final season was saved with the final 2 episodes due to be released later in the year. Now, episode 3, as of this day, has come out. Episode 4, we're still waiting on it. But it was saved by Skybound Entertainment. And Skybound Entertainment originally did the first Walking Dead season, and I think the second one as well, and maybe even the third one. They maybe did it all. But I don't think they were involved in the 4th. I'm not really sure. Maybe they were involved with Michonne as well, but I'm not sure about that. But as of that day, Skybound literally saved the game, and that's good for us because, like I said, it's a game that really, really needed to see the ending to. So thank goodness for that. But as I said in the first update, I didn't really, because with that, I decided to remove a lot of playthroughs that I did or had back then. I had seasons 1 to 3 of The Walking Dead. I had Tales from the Borderlands. I had Game of Thrones. I had Batman Season 1. I didn't have Season 2 because I didn't own it at the time. But, games, traditionally, all of Telltale's games are pretty much deleted. Now, that wasn't... For The Walking Dead, it wasn't the reason it was going to get finished. There just wouldn't have been no point to having 3 seasons of The Walking Dead sitting up on YouTube with no real clear resolution to the series. So I really figured, what's really the point of them having that? So that was the deal with The Walking Dead. I was going to leave everything else, like Tales from the Borderlands and games like that, I was going to leave that all up there because they had kind of resolutions and endings that kind of made sense or were, sort of closed. I mean, The Wolf Among Us is a different scenario, which I'll talk about in a minute. But the whole deal with The Walking Dead was to say, we're not really going to get an ending, so what's the point of it having that? And that was until Skybound Entertainment intervened, and now it has been saved, and now we will get our episode 3 and 4, well, 4 in this date, pretty soon, I would have thought. Excuse me. So, that was the deal with The Walking Dead. And then, I think it was like a few days later, I came up with this idea. I was like, this is what Project PC is, basically. I came up with this Project PC. And basically the idea was, when I looked at the playthroughs of, say, Tales from the Borderlands and Game of Thrones and games like that in particular, I never really was happy with them. I didn't really think I was going to play them again, but I never really was truly happy with how they turned out. And with Tales of the Borderlands and Game of Thrones in particular, the reason was that I did a console switch mid-season. Basically, with Game of Thrones and with Tales from the Borderlands, I started the series on the Xbox One. So basically, I played episode 1 and 2 of both Game of Thrones and Tales from the Borderlands, and maybe episode 3 of Game of Thrones. But basically, I started them all on the Xbox One versions, and then made the PlayStation 4 my console of choice pretty much from that September of that year. when I got my newest Elgato stuff, and my gaming PC actually fixed the first time, I believe. Good, I can't even remember what that was for, but that was around that time. And then I got a new mic, and I got a new capture card, and all that stuff. And then I got another new capture card. I got an internal PC one. And yeah, you know where I'm going with this. You know, with a lot of changes, I switched consoles. I had different capture cards. I think that from Tales of the Borderlands, I even had an AverMedia because when Tom Lady Games was using AverMedia, we actually figured it was a good streaming capture card. Yeah, you know where we're going. We had different equipment, different capture cards, different consoles, and it all just really came out as a complete mess. You know, it was just like a complete mess. So I was never really happy with it. And then with The Walking Dead, I had the first 2 seasons on the Xbox One and the 3rd season on PS4. I would have had the 4th season on PS4 or Epic Store or whatever. So yeah, those playthroughs were a real mess, really, and I was never really happy with them. And then when I heard that season 4 was getting saved, and I was like, oh gee, I've already deleted that, because at the time when I deleted Walking Dead, I didn't know Skybound were going to come in and save it, which they did. But like I said, I wasn't really happy with those playthroughs anyway. And then I had a further brainstorm of Project PC as into, well, you know what, I'm going to get more use out of my gaming PC and pretty much play story-based games like Life is Strange, The Walking Dead, Tales from the Borderlands, Batman, and even a couple of new games like Life is Strange 2 and Twin Mirror, both from Dontnod. Basically, they're going to be PC exclusive kind of playthroughs now. Obviously, sadly, we're not going to get any more games from Telltale, unfortunately. But with Dontnod and Life is Strange 2 in particular, and hopefully Twin Mirror, when that comes out, we can make those PC exclusives. So now I kind of have Xbox exclusives or multiplayer games, or some weird scenario that we had to buy an Xbox game for an Xbox One for, but predominantly Xbox One would be used for the exclusives. PlayStation 4 would have pretty much everything, like first-person shooters, other adventure games, and stuff like that, because PlayStation 4 was a console of choice. Now, obviously, we're looming over the new consoles in 2020, but that's a long way away yet, so I don't even have to think about that. And my honest thoughts on that for a bit, I'm not really feeling the need to get one right now, but we'll see. We'll see next year when they all kind of come out and we get a better, clearer picture of them. But as for right now, I'm not really focusing on that because I don't really think I need it. But we'll see when the features get announced. We'll see what we want to do. I mean, I don't think it'll be a day one purchase regardless. So there's that. So yeah, the PlayStation 1 was my console of choice for pretty much everything else. And I've noticed that apart from the Schumacher years, I didn't really have anything PC specific, and it was really kind of not putting my PC to any use. And my uncle did such a good job making it, and I started to feel bad a little bit. You know, I was starting to feel bad a little bit, and then I remembered, you know what, games like Walking Dead and Life is Strange, they're very simple to play. And as you saw by my controller, I use the controller predominantly to play PC games. But with Life is Strange and The Wolf Among Us and Tales from the Borderlands and such, I can actually play with keyboard and mouse because it's very simple. Now, the one thing in the first update that you saw was me sitting on a chair hunched over like this. So I was kind of waiting for a desk for the longest time. And then in the next update, by the time the following update came out, when I postponed Project PC, the main reason I did it in the first place was because of this exact setup you're seeing right now. And if you've been familiar with my channel updates, you'll know what it looks like. I'll go through it again in just a second when we explain what I'm using and how I'm going to be using everything. So as you can see, it's very different from when I announced this. It's so much better. I'm not leaning over. I'm kind of doing this and looking at the screen and pressing the keys. It's just so much easier. And now I don't have to bend and risk hurting my back or anything. So yeah, I've been pretty much waiting for this project to come back, and I've taken the last couple of weeks or so since it got done, getting used to it, getting ready for this project, because this project is going to be quite long. I don't think we're going to do this in the space of a month. When you look at the kind of schedule we've got, this might even go into April or May, which would be very convenient, because my uncle is coming up again in May to kind of do some more stuff. I'll talk about that more near the time, but something that Timelay is doing, actually, which is pretty going to be awesome. Now, it's not going to change drastically until later on in the year, but even the stuff she's getting in May is awesome. So, yeah, I'll talk more about that near the time so we don't kind of go into relevance of this video. So, basically, what Project PC is is to bring those games back to my channel, all under one capture card, one usable microphone, and all on one platform. So it's kind of easy enough for you guys to follow, because even though I have only 189 subscribers at the time of recording this video, I know probably only like 4 or 5 watch my stuff. I probably don't even get 100 of people watching it, but even for those who do, I think those games have been very difficult to follow. And then I think there was even a couple of times in Tales from the Borderlands and Game of Thrones that my choices didn't really match. I don't really know why. Maybe I had a change of heart on one choice and didn't actually notice that I picked the other one until I rewatched the older video. Or actually, well, I didn't rewatch it, but I only rewatch it for quality purposes when I first put it up, just to check it's working, because I don't want to upload a video it doesn't work. But even with that, even when me not watching my stuff because that'd be just weird. Basically, I kind of was thinking about it, and I never really liked the way they turned out, because it was very difficult to follow for one, like I said earlier. All this stuff was on Xbox One and then moved to PS4, and then something else happened, and then this capture card. I mean, case in point with Tales from the Borderlands, right? Tales from the Borderlands, the final episode came out, and I had an AverMedia capture card, and I was recording with that at the time. And what happened was, unlike Elgato, with AverMedia, you have to kind of set your game volume before you start recording. You can't change it on the fly. So I started recording, forgetting the fact that I didn't set the game volume to manageable hearing levels for you guys. So basically, you were hearing the game, but it was very faint. You had to kind of turn your usable device up, really loud to hear the game volume, but then that would exacerbate my voice. So you'd hear my voice ringing in your ears, because my voice was already set to, not max level, but manageable level, so to speak. I think it was max level, because the AverMedia capture card was really kind of temperamental with blue snowballs. I remember when we tried Gears of War 3, or Gears of War 2 even, and Time Lady actually had a blue snowball, was recording with the AverMedia, and the AverMedia, even when you put the snowball at a high volume, and you do that, it kind of recorded really low. So I know why that is, actually, now that I think about it, but it was a while ago, we didn't know at the time. I know why that is now, but at the time we had no idea, and it was just so low, and you could barely hear what Tom Lady was saying, so we had to get her a Blue Yeti just to, because I was using a Blue Yeti with a game thing at the time, and that's how that worked. So yeah, AverMedia, you kind of had to, you had to have a different mic, and then had to adjust settings, and then you had to make sure you were right before you started recording, whereas with Elgato, it can all be managed on the fly in front of you. So we kind of went back to Elgato, and at that point, I moved to an HD60 Pro, and then obviously, I think it was the end of, not last year, but I think it was the year before, that I noticed that my HD60 Pro had pretty much broke, because of the commentary issues I was having with it, and desync and everything, and it was just, I think it was the card that broke more than anything else, which was rather unfortunate. So then I went back to my HD60. So as you can tell, there has been a lot of switches. There's been a lot of dissonant stuff, and it was just all random. And like I said, I never really liked how they came out. It would have been very difficult to follow. So that's what Project PC is. It's to bring these playthroughs back and do it all under one thing where it's easy for you to follow, and it's my final choices for these games. And what I might even do with some games is to explain why I made this choice. Because this is it. This is going to be the definitive editions of these versions. And with The Walking Dead Season 1, I'll be playing it for the 8th or 9th time ever. So this hopefully will be the last time I ever goddamn play the Season 1, because I've played it on so many systems, because I've had to, in a way. And hopefully this will be finally it. So, with that introduction out of the way, that's what Project PC is, to bring all these playthroughs back, and I'll be happy with them. I've made my own choices. I haven't made a choice that I didn't make, and then it all sorts of got confusing and ended the story differently. But with these story-based games, they don't really factor that much anyway, but, at least it's my actual decisions, and they stay that way. It's not like I jump on Season 2. I mean, luckily, with Season 3 of The Walking Dead, I played the first 2 seasons first, and then actually factored that in. Now, there will be something I mentioned that a bit later about that, because that's something for the final season I'm a bit concerned about. But we'll mention that later. So, let us go through everything that this project PC is going to use. Let's literally just tell you everything you're going to see and hear throughout this entire project. Let's do this. This might be a long video, but why not? So, for those of you who've seen my channel update, you already know my PC, but for those who are probably just joining today, or whenever you are, let's have a look at this. So we're going to use my webcam. This is going to be completely bootleg. It's probably not even going to work because it's kind of behind something. So basically, we'll start from over here, and that is the capture card I was telling you about. This is the HD60 that I kind of lent to Samuelus Games, and then he gave it back when my 60 was kind of confirmed as broken. Now it's not, sorry for the shaky cam, but it's not actually plugged in at the moment because obviously I'm having to use OBS to record, and if I have the program like open on Game Capture, something's not going to work. So it's not all kind of plugged in at the moment. So this is a CTX keyboard and mouse. They're RGB, they light up, they're awesome. So this is the stuff I'm going to be using there. And for story-based games, you can press, like, let's go over here. Let's press W to walk forwards, and then the mouse to move it. So as you say, it's not really strenuous on my hands. If I was playing a first-person shooter on this thing, I would have like 0-20 kill-death ratio. So yeah, this is going to be easier on my hands, and it doesn't require speed to move and everything. Now this isn't really important. That's a USB thing that I don't think works. I don't know. I've tried charging my phone on that. It doesn't work. I think my elbow just saw that. That's a soundbar. That's irrelevant because that's not going to be used. Now over here is a couple of things. That's Tomley's actual PlayStation 4 sitting there. That's a bit cluttered, but that'll be sorted in May for what I was explaining earlier. So this you're hearing me talking through right now is the Blue Yeti Nano. Like, we've had another microphone. This Nano is awesome. Now, what was unfortunate with this Nano is that during the refurbishment from my uncle, the wire just mysteriously broke. Now, I'm not really sure how, but he got a replacement one, and that's all good. But the replacement one I got is quite short, but I do have a kind of solution to that. This is what I'm going to be listening to game volume with. I can't remember. It's a CTX headset, so it basically came with the keyboard and the mouse. Weirdly enough, the mic, from what I understand, doesn't work. I could be plugging it in wrong or not understanding that. I'll have to get my uncle to look at it when he comes back in May to kind of finish it up in here. So the mic doesn't really work. This headset's awesome, so I'm obviously going to use it. We'll talk about more about that in a minute. As you can see, like, dual monitor setup now. So this will be a godsend. I'll explain more about that in a bit. But yeah, that's basically it. This right here I'm sitting on is a gaming chair. This is one of the things I actually needed to begin with. Now, I did have a gaming chair a long time ago, but this one has wheels. As you can see, it moves. It moves without me having to lift it. Now, with my old gaming chair, I had to lift the thing and kind of move it out of the way if I ever wanted to move it. Now I can just wheel out, so that's really useful. So this chair is really useful for that. Now, the solution I was talking about with this, as I said, the Nano was pretty short. What's behind here is that thing. Now, that basically extends USB and then the USB into the computer and things like that. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you my computer because I don't know how long this wire is. There you go. And it has RGB lights and stuff, as you probably know from the update. Unfortunately, that 7 Chaos thing was awesome, but the S doesn't light up. The S broke. I'm not really sure how that is. I'll tell you the specs of the PC in a second, but that's basically everything to and from there in terms of what I'm going to be using whilst I'm playing these games. Ooh. And now I'm going to really muck up because the webcam's going to be twisted. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. Alright, so yeah, that's basically it. Actually, I'll get out of this chair and you can see it for yourself. Here's a better view of it for you. This is awesome, dude. Honestly, I've needed one of these for ages. And as you can see, it was a dual monitor. That was the desk there. So the desk and the chair is what I needed more than the PC and everything. And my uncle decided to do more with it instead. I mean, I'm going to take it. It was my 30th birthday, and it was a nice birthday present. I'm certainly going to take it. I just wasn't expecting it. You know, all I really needed was a chair and a desk to sit at. And it ended up being a dual monitor setup with an all more powerful PC than my last one, and even a soundbar kind of help with speakers, because unlike my old monitor, which is there, Tommy has it. This doesn't actually have um, any ports to put headphones in. Because what I used to do with that was put my headphones in the monitor, and that would mitigate something. Now I'll talk about that in a sec when we get to the second screen. So what we're going to have a look at now, and get rid of that, is we're going to have a look at the games that will feature on here. Now I've mentioned this a couple of times, but there have been some new additions since then, and this was another reason why I kind of postponed it, because like I said in the previous update, I didn't really have a lot, what's the word? I didn't have all the pieces for Project PC at the time. I was missing Walking Dead New Frontier, and I was missing Batman Telltale Series 1 and 2. Those are the two games I was missing through that. So, this is very, okay, that's better. So, what's going to be featured in this PC? You're going to notice that this is why it'll take a while. Let's start from the top. Preferably not with Adventures of Captain Spirit, because that's later. Now, we'll start from here. So, Batman Telltale series. Obviously a Telltale game. Telltale is the meat of this project to bring those games back and to kind of have it all under there for you. Now, with Batman Telltale series, it's an interesting story because before playing Batman Telltale series, I had very little knowledge of Batman and his games. Before then, I never played Batman Arkham Knight. Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. I seen playthroughs from Vash and the like playing it, but I never really played it for myself. Now, I mentioned in a 7 Chaos previous episode that I did for the game back when I did the PS4 version that this was going to be my first actual proper entrance into the Batman universe, because growing up, I didn't really have a superhero. The closest thing I probably had to a superhero in a way would probably be the Power Rangers. That would probably be the closest I ever had to a superhero thing. But it's not something I had an avid fan of, like Superman or Batman or anything like that. I didn't have anything like that growing up. Probably aside from like the Power Rangers. But even then, I wasn't hugely obsessed with the Power Rangers. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be them or anything like that. I just liked watching Power Rangers. It was just awesome back then. I don't know if it's still going now. I doubt it. But there was a couple of series there I really liked. I think I liked the original series, and then I loved Dino Thunder. That was fucking great. And I think I liked SPD, and then I didn't really watch it after that. So I've only really watched 3 series of Power Rangers. So as you can probably tell, I wasn't really hugely into them either. I think the other one I probably liked was Wild Force, actually. But, I wasn't really avid. Like, I watched every single one and didn't miss an episode or anything like that. It was nothing like that. And that was the same with superheroes like Superman or Batman or anything like that. So, going into Batman Telltale series, the draw for me was Telltale, because Telltale were one of my favorite game developers. The Walking Dead was a sensational hit that got me hooked in The Walking Dead, and Game of Thrones kind of did the same for Game of Thrones as well. It kind of got me into the series. I'll talk about that later, but with a lot of these games, it was my first entry into a lot of series. So with Batman, like I said, it was my first entry into Batman, and not only that, it gave you more Bruce Wayne as well. Because Batman is the main kind of protagonist, but this game actually delves into Bruce Wayne a little bit more, and it does a really damn good job of it. And I really enjoyed this first game. I really did. And I couldn't wait for the second one. When the second one was announced, I couldn't wait for it. But unfortunately, a lot had changed since the end of Batman Season 1, and I couldn't buy the second game, and now I have it. So Batman Season 1 and 2 from Telltale were two of the games that I'm missing at that point. So as you can see, a lot has changed since my postponement of this, and this was part of the reason. Now I do have Season 2, and I've not even played it. I've not even seen it. I don't think even Vash has played it. So, I don't really know anything about this game. So this is the one I'm really looking forward to, but of course, we've got to bring Season 1 in first, because I do believe, I could be wrong, but I do believe Enemy Within actually does carry over some elements from the first season, and that's something you're going to notice with The Walking Dead and Tales from not Tales from the Borderlands, but Walking Dead, Life is Strange, and such. There are times like games like these that actually carry over from previous games. So The Walking Dead Season 2 carries over from Season 1 and vice versa, and so on. So Telltale Season 1 will carry over into Telltale Season 2, and we'll have to see some lasting effects from Season 1. So that'd be really interesting, considering I haven't even played this game. But as you can see here, look, Telltale confirms huge layoff at the majority store closure, so that was the reason why we never got some games that were very highly anticipated, like The Wolf Among Us Season 2, which was originally announced and then never ever happened. So what's next? We've done Batman Season 2. Jurassic Park, the game, is an interesting one because I didn't even think I was ever going to play this game. I didn't even know Telltale had made this game. That's how out of the loop I was. Now, I haven't watched the Jurassic Park movies, but I think after the first one, the consensus agreement was that the following movies weren't really that good. But I never played the game. So Jurassic Park, the game, will actually be a very interesting experience, as it will be my first time even experiencing it. And again, it's one of those I haven't really watched from other people. So it's going to be very interesting just to experience this game, like, at all, actually. Now, I really kind of have an order for this, but I'll explain more about that in a second. Actually, we can go into that right now, because this is going to be what starts Project PC off. It's going to be Life is Strange, the series. Now, you guys know that since my ending of Season 1, I have talked about Life is Strange a lot over the last few years. It's got a lot less, to be fair, but ever since the ending of Life is Strange 1, almost every game I've ever played has constantly reminded me of it. It's not even my fault anymore. But this series, it came out of nowhere. It literally came out of nowhere. I think I saw the trailer, but it didn't really, I was like, okay, it's another game. And then, Time Many Games actually watches the playthrough of the game from Darkside Phil, points me in his direction, and I'm pretty sure she probably regrets it after that, because goddamn did I not ever shut up about this goddamn game. I love this series. I absolutely love it. I adore it. It's just that, and you will see it in the playthrough. I won't even talk about it anymore, because if I do, I'm going to end up like boring you guys. So I'll leave it at that. Now these are being put there because I love the series. I didn't need to do these games initially. But I thought, you know what, I'm doing, like I said, actually, I wasn't originally planning to do these games, and then I brainstormed Project PC, and I was like, you know what, I might as well do Life is Strange 2 and Captain Spirit. I might as well do them as well. So basically, I'm doing these as extras, but there could be something that ties it to Life is Strange 2. I don't know, because Life is Strange 2, as you know, isn't Arcadia Bay, it's not Max and Chloe, it's not Rachel, it's not any of those characters. Their story arc is closed. So Life is Strange focuses on an entire new universe, but, if I'm going to play Life is Strange 2 on the PC, it would only make perfect sense to have these on the PC as well. So it's kind of like what I was explaining earlier. Because I'd have Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm and Farewell on PS4, and then Life is Strange 2 on PC. I want it all to kind of, like, be on the same thing, so it's easy to follow for you guys. But yeah, these were added kind of extras that I didn't necessarily need to do, but wanted to do, and wanted to make sure everything was on the PC. Like I said, all these games, these kind of games now, they're all going to be like PC games. So I'm going to play Life is Strange 2, I'm going to play Twin Mirror when that comes out, and any other game that comes out of this style is all going to be on the PC version, because, like I said, they're easy to play with keyboard and mouse, and I don't have to resort to a controller to use it. And I might as well play the PC like a proper PC gamer for a change, instead of using a controller. But Life is Strange and Life is Strange, not so much Life is Strange Before the Storm, but Life is Strange in particular was just like, yes, this was like the best game of 2015 by some margin, in my opinion. In other opinions, really not. I think Tales from the Borderlands was actually the more popular game, which makes sense, because Tales of the Borderlands was just immense. We'll go into that in a sec. The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit is really the reason why Life is Strange would be here. Now, The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit works as a prequel demo to Life is Strange 2. It actually works as a prequel demo to Life is Strange 2, where what you do in Captain Spirit will kind of, in small ways, I guess, work in Life is Strange 2. I'm not entirely sure how that will really work because I haven't even seen. I've been really good. I've been really good and not seen an inch of Life is Strange 2 because Life is Strange is not one of those games, is one of those games that really deserves not to be spoiled. So I am not watching any of that game so I don't spoil it for myself because Life is Strange, like I said, is not a series that needs to be spoiled. You need to experience it before you watch it. You need to experience it for yourself before you do anything else with it. Now, most of what you do in Captain Spirit will actually cross over to Life is Strange 2. So, with that in mind, and me with wanting to do these games on the PC, that was what kind of was the kicker to put Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm on here. Now, because the Before the Storm is not really the kind of whole thing of this project, because it's an added extra, I'll start with these first. I'll get these out of the way, because they weren't really going to be here until what I just explained. But, so it only makes sense to do these first. I've already kind of played these games, so I can kind of give you in-depth stuff if I have to. I'll try not to, but with this series, it's going to be difficult. But, excuse me. So yeah, I'll pretty much do these first and get these out of the way, because these are the extras. This isn't really how Prototype PT came about, but I thought I would add them anyway. So, Tales from the Borderlands. Now, I might actually do this after Life is Strange. And the reason I'll do Tales from the Borderlands, I'm actually going to go into some sort of order here. Tales from the Borderlands might follow it, because Tales from the Borderlands is one of those games that is just the most immense thing I've ever seen. Tales from the Borderlands literally comes out of nowhere at an E3, I remember. And I turned to Time Lady and I said, Borderlands in Telltale? Really? And then you play the game and oh my god, is this game good. My god, this game literally surprised me with how good it was. I love this game. I love this game. And it's coming after Life is Strange simply because there was only ever one season of it. I'm going to kind of go in a season kind of order thing here. So first will be Life is Strange because they weren't really going to be there in the first place, and then I thought, why not? Tales from the Borderlands will only have one season with the closure of Telltale. Now, there's something I'll bring up in a minute about Game of Thrones, but Tales from the Borderlands kind of ends sort of well. And what I mean by sort of well is, if there was an opportunity to make a sequel, they could do it. But even if an unfortunate situation like Telltale's happens, and they can't make a sequel, then we don't get left hanging. You know what I mean? We get an ending that can be considered closure, and we don't have to worry about being left hanging if another one actually doesn't get made. I'll explain more about that kind of scenario in a minute. Obviously, The Walking Dead. Do I even have to mention why I'm doing this game? I mean, yes, we've got to. Now, one thing I want to mention quickly. The Walking Dead Season 2, and The Walking Dead Season 3 are all here. I've got them all. Now, unfortunately, for some bizarre reason that when you actually think about it, it makes sense, you're not seeing Season 4, you're not seeing the final season, because I did not pre-order this game on Steam. I did not pre-order the game at all, because I was actually going to wait until all the episodes were pretty much finished, and then buy it, because the thing with games like this, and in particular Life is Strange, I jumped into it far too quickly, and then ended up having to wait forever for the final 2 episodes. So what I was going to do was probably hold off on Season 4. I wasn't even sure what I was going to play this on at the time. I think I was going to go on PS4, but it seemed to be really expensive for like 4 episodes. What was it? Was it like 25, Dave?
Yeah.
Was it like 25 or something?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like crazy expensive for like only 4 episodes. It was £25. Now, that's not even £5 an episode. You know, 4 episodes, 4 5s are 20. So it's getting sold for like 20 or 30 pounds. It was ridiculously expensive. And I was like, I'm not paying that for, especially when you consider it's the entire season pass. And this is a weird story. With the final season, they released the final season, but not the episodes. And that was why it cost £25. They released the entire season pass. Now, what Telltale used to do was they used to have this system where, and Life is Strange and other games did this as well, where they released the episodes for individual purchase if you didn't want to buy the season pass. But because Telltale was in such dire straits, I guess, money-wise, they wanted to sell the entire season for £25 as a season pass and not have standalone items. So sadly, that has nipped me in the butt quite a little bit, really, this Project PC thing, because as you will probably see, as I will show you right now, if we can do this, this is really kind of bullshit, by the way, as you'll probably see. Let's see if we can do this. Here it is. So I'll try not to, we won't play that. So as you can see, the only thing I can do is download this goddamn demo. Why is that, you may ask? Well, for just, I don't believe this, really. I still don't. But take a look at Epic Games, for example. In fact, I will do that for you. Let's do this. This might be a long video, but I just want to show you this absolute nonsense that has happened since Epic Store came out of fucking nowhere. That's it. Oh shit. I'm actually typing it wrong here. Here we go. So let's I'll sign in. Obviously you won't see it because you're looking at my one monitor, so I won't reveal anything. So that's good. I think I can sign in using this. So let me do that. Shit, pressing caps. Yeah, look at this nonsense, guys. You all know where I'm going with this when I show it on the screen. I'm not really doing that correctly. Oops. We spelled that right? Yes, because I don't want to do that I'm not a robot bullshit. I probably just completely butchered it. No, I didn't. Okay, so let's go into this. Where is it? Oh, we've even got fucking Vampire and other games on here as well. Now, this is actually quite funny because... Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to close that and I'm going to switch to my other monitor. Look at this bullshit. Yes, because Fortnite has been rolling in the dough from people buying microtransactions, Epic Games have taken it upon themselves to basically just challenge Steam. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, are we really going to be immature and bitchy about this? Yes, we are. Because look at this. You can only buy fucking Season 4 through fucking Epic Games Store. Because Epic Games Store now rolls in the money thanks to people buying the microtransactions on Fortnite. Bearing in mind that we are in an era, right, where people are constantly bitching and complaining about buying microtransactions and microtransactions in games. And I said this in an update. One guy put it perfectly on a tweet. He said, we are in an era where people are bitching and constantly complaining about microtransactions, but these same people were having no problem with buying all of Fortnite's epic passes and and battle passes and all this stuff in Fortnite and their microtransactions and their cosmetics and items and skin. Yeah, you get it. They have no problem buying anything in Fortnite for a fucking year or so, but now we're bitching and complaining about it, and this is the end result. Now people on Steam now get fucked because Epic Games was rolling in so much fucking money from when that was going on. Now people on Steam are now getting screwed. We've got screwed out of this, so we can't buy it on Steam now. We've got to buy it on fucking we've got to buy it on fucking Epic Store. Now I think it was something about, I think Epic Store were kind of giving what was it? Were they giving Skybound like some exclusivity thing? Yeah, basically this game is now exclusive to Epic Store if you didn't buy it on fucking Steam. Well, thank you very much. You know, I didn't, you know, because now what's going to happen is I'm going to finish the first 3 seasons, but it's not going to mean anything because if Epic Games runs on a separate system where I can't pull in my Steam save file, then I'm fucked. And what I'm going to have to do is when I eventually buy this, because I'm going to do it, because I have to buy it, really, don't I? You know, I have to purchase it and I have to see how this ends. You know, I'm really doing this out of obligation. But I have to do it, you know, I have to buy it and see how it ends. But now what I'm going to have to do is if my game save from Steam doesn't carry over, which I hope it does, but I doubt it, if that doesn't work, then I'm going to have to. What I'm going to have to do is boot up the game, play it, and it's selling it for cheaper, by the way. It's only $18.99 now, which is what the game should have been to begin with, so that's an even more kick in the teeth, because I'm sure Steam members got even more screwed. But, you know, Epic Games has actually done the right thing and sold it for its actual price that makes more sense. I'm not even sure if this is the entire season. I'm assuming it is. It says season pass, so I'm assuming it's the entire thing, yeah. So, and that's some shit. But, you know, now I'm going to have to start the game, and what I'm probably going to have to do is, you know, in Season 3, when you begin the game, if you don't have a save file, you can basically make your choices through a pre-game choice picker, and you can basically have the story that matches up with yours. I'm going to have to do that, because I'm going to be playing the first 3 on Steam, and then I'm not going to be able to play Season 4 on it, because now it's exclusive to Epic for some reason. You know, it's like I said, though. It's like the Epic Store simply exists because of Fortnite. That's literally it. And like I said in that update, I'm not bashing Fortnite for it. I absolutely and completely understand the success that Fortnite has. But those people that were, like I said, that were bitching about... that were bitching about microtransactions in video games had no problem buying Fortnite cosmetics, and now because of that, Epic Games has now come out and gone, oh, now we can challenge the likes of Steam on PC bullshit, and now we're having our own PC fucking store wars. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, this is as immature as the console wars back in the fucking 90s. We have to have everyone competing with each other. You know what I mean? It's just like, but Epic Store are so fucking smug, because really they wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for Fortnite rolling in the money for people buying their constant battle passes and microtransaction bullshit for cosmetics. That's basically what this is. Epic Games have now turned into fucking smug bitches because Fortnite rolls in the money. And I'm not criticizing Fortnite. I totally get its success and I totally get its popularity, but the way Epic Games have literally just strolled in and gone, oh, we're challenging Steam, we're taking their games away from them, because we have so much money to throw behind it, because people were so gullible to buy all our battle passes and all our weapon skins and all that shit in an era where people were constantly bitching about it. Yeah, they've literally rolled in and decided we're going to challenge Epic because we're rolling in dough, and if it doesn't work, then we ain't going to suffer, and Fortnite will save our ass anyway. So Fortnite has literally funded the Epic Games Store, and now they're all so smug about it. It's kind of like bullshit to me. It really is. I don't mean to rant. I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to rant in an irrelevant video. But I thought I'd just get that out there, dude. It's not. Like I said, I'm not criticizing Fortnite. I totally get its success. I don't really play Fortnite because I'm not good at it. But you know, I get its success and I get its popularity. I totally get that it's a free game. You know, and you can do what you want with a free game and buy the cosmetics if you want. But you're funding Epic Games through microtransactions that you're bitching about for the last year, but you had no problem buying Fortnite stuff, and now we've got the end result where we're getting situations like this, and where Epic Games are so far up their own asses now because they're rolling in the dough, and you know, Epic Store now thinks they're the greatest thing ever, and they're really not. But I digress. Anyway, let's pick up where we left off. Sorry about that, but yeah. So continuing on, The Wolf Among Us will probably follow this. What I'm probably going to do is do Life is Strange first, and then Captain Spirit, and then we're going to move on to Tales from the Borderlands and The Wolf Among Us. And the reason why I'm doing those first is because they're only one. See, actually, yes, I am going to do that. I'm going to do Tales from the Borderlands following Life is Strange 1 when that game's done, and then I'm going to do The Wolf Among Us. The reason why I'm doing these two following Life is Strange is because they're single seasons. You know, they don't really follow on from another one. So I don't want to do Life is Strange and then, I feel like doing Batman Telltale Season 1, but I also want to do Wolf Among Us after it. So it's easy to follow, basically. So I'm going to do these single season games first. Now, with The Wolf Among Us, it's an interesting thing. One, because, as I said earlier, there was an announcement of the second season at last year's E3 before Telltale sadly closed down. And it's not Telltale's fault that The Walking Dead is like that, by the way. That's totally epic. But back to the point. The Wolf Among Us was already in tune for a second season now. Sadly, that doesn't happen. Now, With The Wolf Among Us, it can end one of two ways. It can end with you following, I believe it's Faith. I believe it's Faith from the beginning of the game, and you get to follow her, and then it kind of goes, I'll see you around, Wolf, and then cuts to the black screen, and that's the end of the season. I think, and I've never picked this, but I think you can have this other one where you leave her and he goes towards her house and she says the same thing. Now, I believe that is the kind of ending that says, pick this if you're not really at all curious about what Nessa was saying, or Faith was saying, and you're like, oh shit, it's actually just revealed that this has happened, but what's going to go happen? And you'd be walking and it's black screen. You can also have this other one where he's not really curious at all, he walks back to his house, and that's the end of the game. Supposedly. I could be wrong, but I think I've seen it. And that, I'm going to say this right now, that's the ending I'm probably going to have to pick. Because unfortunately, as I said, The Wolf Among Us Season 2 will not be around anymore. There is no Season 2. It's cancelled. It's done. Unless someone comes in to save it. If someone comes in to save it and I've already done the game, then it's too late. I'm just going to have to deal with it. But as far as we know, The Wolf Among Us Season 2 is never happening. And it's a goddamn shame, because like Tales from the Borderlands, I love this game. I absolutely love this game. I think The Wolf Among Us is an interesting game, because I think it came out alongside The Walking Dead. Was it Season 1 or 2? I can't remember. But I think it... Let's find out, actually. When did I buy The Walking Dead Season 1? Where is it? Here it is. 2014... That's game purchased. Game purchased like 2014. So I bought these literally days apart. Wow. Did I? Shit. That's the difference between then and now, I guess, in what I buy. But yeah. With The Wolf Among Us, it was an interesting one because it came out alongside The Walking Dead season. I believe it was 1 or maybe 2. I'm not sure. But it came alongside one of the best games Telltale has ever done. So, I don't know. I don't think this game got the credit it deserved, basically because The Walking Dead was more popular, and I think that was because of the subject matter. The Wolf Among Us, what I'm basically saying is The Wolf Among Us to me was a diamond in the rough, where it was a great game, but not many people really knew about it because it was in the midst of The Walking Dead. It's pretty much what Tales of the Borderlands went through, in a way, where Tales of the Borderlands was this great game, but Life is Strange was just, like, so amazing that people forgot about it. Now, some people didn't, and Tales of the Borderlands... I mean, with Tales from the Borderlands and Life is Strange in particular, those two games were a nominee for the Game of the Year award in story-based, and her story won it. So, you know, Tales from the Borderlands and Life is Strange were completely overlooked for something else. You know, it's the same thing. It's like Tales from the Borderlands and Life is Strange diamonds in the rough, but her story wins it. It was pretty much the same thing with The Wolf Among Us. It came out in the midst of a Walking Dead season, and literally got left behind because, you know, the subject matter of The Walking Dead was more... You know, it was more popular, just basically. And The Wolf Among Us, sadly, just got a kind of swept under the rug. Now, fortunately, it wasn't too bad to the point where they never even bothered with a sequel, say, from fucking Game of Thrones. But, because, you know, Season 2 was in development, but sadly that won't happen now. So, but, like I said, I adore this game. I'd already played it before on the PS4, but like I said, with Project PC rebooting, I thought I'd do this as well, simply because I love the series and it deserves to go back on there. So, what does that mean for games like Game of Thrones? Well, that won't be happening, because Game of Thrones doesn't have that ending. Game of Thrones literally ends sequel baiting. It's really sequel baiting. It's teasing a sequel. No matter what you do, it teases a sequel that will never get made. So there's really no point me doing Game of Thrones for this project. You know, there's no reason to, because it won't get a sequel. So there's no real point in having season 1 there and just have it ending on a cliffhanger, and it would be pointless. I'll probably just play it one day for the achievements, but it won't be part of this. I don't need to do it because there's no sequel for it. And finally, the last two games I should really talk about, Telltale-wise, would be Minecraft Story Mode and Back to the Future. Now, Minecraft Story Mode, it's another one of those, isn't it? It's another one of those that kind of, the subject matter really wins out and makes it go longer than it should. What I mean by that is, I could probably switch back to my webcam now, couldn't I? Because I've kind of previewed everything I wanted to do. But basically, yeah, with Minecraft Story Mode, it's interesting because I actually really enjoyed Minecraft Story Mode. I think it was hilarious. I love the part in Boomtown where you're playing with this guy, I can't remember his name, but you're basically playing some block game with this guy, and this guy in the crowd shouts out, "Oh, I don't know what that means, but I love it, and I want to put it on a t-shirt." That was the most hilarious shit. I had to pause the game because I was just laughing so much. It was so fucking funny. Minecraft Story Mode was great. It was a really fun game, and I think that's the thing with Telltale. Games like The Wolf Among Us and Tales from the Borderlands. Tales from the Borderlands and Minecraft Story Mode in particular don't really take themselves too seriously. With The Walking Dead, they have to be serious because of the subject matter, and the same with Game of Thrones. But Tales from the Borderlands and Minecraft Story Mode, to a point, very light-hearted adventures, and I think the game benefits from that. And I really enjoyed Minecraft Story Mode. But what you will find as you play Minecraft Story Mode and go into Season 2 is that the subject matter really pulls the game along, doesn't it? And what I mean is the subject of Minecraft. Minecraft is basically so popular still, even today, with Fortnite being out and people being all over that game, rightly so. But Minecraft was kind of the first, wasn't it? It was kind of the originator of this game that you could play forever. And the subject matter of Minecraft really pushed Minecraft Story Mode probably further than it had to go. Because I feel that the Season 1 of Minecraft Story Mode really ends at Episode 4. And, oh my god, I'm just going to say this, Episode 4, Jesus, I don't think I've ever been so emotional over an ending of an episode before. I literally could not play Episode 4 of Minecraft Story Mode without being really emotional. And probably having tears coming out of my eyes. I'm not even joking. I don't think I've ever watched Episode 4 since then because I can't. Because it's just so freaking sad. Go watch it if you haven't. But I don't think I can ever go through that again anyway. But that's not the reason why I'm not doing it. Actually, Minecraft Story Mode and Back to the Future could be maybes, I guess. You know, Game of Thrones is a definite no because the season ending is too open-ended for a sequel that'll never get made. But Minecraft Story Mode and Back to the Future might be in there. But I feel with Minecraft Story Mode that the season really ends at Episode 4. But now what I could do with Minecraft Story Mode is end Season 1 at Episode 4 and then move on to Season 2. But like I said, I think the subject matter of Minecraft really pushes the game along. And what I mean is, I think there were 5 episodes originally scheduled. 4 has a great ending and then moves on to 5 just randomly. And then what Telltale did was create another adventure pass to play episodes 6, 7, and 8 for the first season of Minecraft Story Mode. And you see where I'm going with this. The subject matter of Minecraft really just pushes that a lot further than it really has to go. Now, to be fair, I was really interested in the episode involving the YouTubers, the Minecraft YouTubers. I was really kind of looking forward to actually playing that episode, and I might still do. But that would mean having to skip episode 5, because I believe the one with the Minecraft YouTubers was episode 6? Or was it episode 7? I don't know. I think it was one of them. But that would require me having to skim over some episodes, and that's the same for season 2 as well. If I wanted to end at season 1 at episode 4, I have to skip all of those entirely and then move on to season 2, and that may be really disjointing. So I don't know, do you guys want to see Minecraft Story Mode? Should I do the entire one anyway? I don't know. I'll probably leave that more up to you guys, because to me, I don't feel like I need to do it really, because it ends sooner than it should, and then you get a season 2, and then yeah, it kind of, the subject matter of Minecraft really just pushes that further than it really has to go. So I don't really know if I should even bother with that, because if I feel that the good ending is like episode 4, maybe I should just do season 1 to episode 4 and then be done with it. Maybe I should just do that, because we're obviously not going to get sequels anyway. But that might be a bit weird to me, because then I won't have even season 2 up there, and obviously there was going to be another one. Even at the end of episode 4, it kind of teases, oh, episode 5 will have a new adventure with the new warriors. I can't remember the name, but Yeah, I think that might be a bit difficult to kind of just end episode 4 and then just leave you guys hanging like that. I don't want to do that, so I don't know. Should I? I mean, I've heard from Talented Games that they really don't. They're really not as good, or they don't really need to be played. Basically, is what I'm saying. I don't think they really need to be played. You don't need to play episodes 5 through 7, and then season 2. You know, you don't really have to do it. So maybe that could be a reason I could do 1 to 4. I'll probably leave it up to you guys. I probably might need more opinion on Minecraft Story Mode just to see if I really should do stuff in the future. We haven't even finished this video yet, but I'll do that in a minute. But yeah, it was kind of the rant that kind of set this back a little bit, but we'll keep going. It's gone over an hour. I'm sorry about that, but so yeah, Minecraft Story Mode is a maybe, as is Back to the Future. And the reason being is because I actually started Back to the Future, and even though I enjoyed it, I didn't really get it because I've only ever watched the second film. I think I've watched the first and second films, and then not watched the third one. But I didn't really get it. I knew who the characters were, but I didn't really get what was going on. But I really enjoyed it. But with Back to the Future, it was very, very hard. It was very tough, and I think I'd be cutting out a lot of that. You know, if I was to do a playthrough, I'd be really just doing some massive cuts in the footage because I'd probably spend half an hour wondering what to do next. And that was in the first episode. You know what I mean? The first episode, I think I had 2 parts in it where I just thought I need to cut this out because it's just so long, me just wandering around, figuring out what to do next. I'll play it if there's like a demand for it again, but I don't know. I mean, it's only 1 season, so I guess I could. Actually, that makes me think, where am I going to put Jurassic Park? Maybe I should put Jurassic Park after Wolf Among Us Season 1. Yeah, because Jurassic Park's only 1 season. So I'll probably do that like after Wolf Among Us, and then we'll move on to Batman, and then we'll move on to The Walking Dead after that. So we'll kind of do it in season order. So 1 season games first, and then we got Batman, and then we got The Walking Dead, and then probably maybe Minecraft Story Mode or Back to the Future. I'll leave that up to you guys, but I'm not really fussed if we don't play those because Back to the Future I found it really tough, and I think that was one of the things because Back to the Future came out before Jurassic Park and Walking Dead. I think it did. It definitely came out before The Walking Dead, and I think what they did with The Walking Dead was they simplified the gameplay and made it more about the story in that game. So, and you know, and the emotional like story in that game. So I think they simplified the gameplay to make it simpler and focus more on the story. Whereas I think with Back to the Future, I think it's more just like trying to find where you need to go next, and it was rather. It would be there would be a lot of cuts in it basically because if I left the footage in there, it would have been very boring for me to watch just roaming around for half an hour. So Back to the Future and Minecraft Story Mode, I'll probably just leave that up to you guys and see if I should play them. Back to the Future I might do because it's only a 1 season game, so it's not something that. But if you guys want to see them, let me know and we'll do that. So basically on this screen. We'll talk about how it's going to look to you guys now, and what's going to be happening as I'm recording it. This will be the last portion of this video. I'm sorry this has gone so long, but there you go. It was going to be long anyway, even without the rant I did about Epic Games for 5 minutes. But well, not rant, but you know, it's kind of like you know, that's really unfortunate. But basically, what it's going to be is you're going to see the game on this monitor, and actually, I'll show you that. It's going to be like the first monitor you see. So if we just like do this again, basically this will be the monitor I record at, and that will be the monitor where I judge everything. Basically that's what you'll see. So on the monitor with the game, like with the game list you've just seen, that's what you're going to be seeing as I play the game, obviously. As I'm recording the game, this is what my second monitor will look like. Now, as you know, I use none of my Elgato stuff's all plugged in because obviously I'm using OBS to record this video. So this is basically what it will be like. Now, obviously, I was doing the game in FIFA today, so that's why you're seeing FIFA named. And obviously, I'll change the audio to the Nano and everything. This isn't all plugged in, so I can't edit anything. So this is basically what you'll see. What I'll do is I'll disable the game preview because I don't need that on, because there's always like a second delay with the HD60. If it was the HD60S, I'd probably leave it on, but I don't have one, whereas Tom Lady does. I don't have one yet. Maybe I'll get that in the future, but not right now. I don't really need it until this one at least kind of conks out eventually, but it's been pretty good to me so far. So what I'll do is I'll disable the preview screen because I won't need it, and basically what I'll be able to do is judge the volumes and everything. So you know, I'll turn game audio down because what I'll use is either the advanced or PC gaming tab. Now, the thing with the PC gaming tab, I noticed that it didn't really work properly. It was very kind of complicated to set up. Because I remember my playthrough of Tomb Raider, the original the rebooted Tomb Raider from 2013. I actually did a playthrough of that on the PC version. I'll play Shadow of the Tomb Raider and the other one that I've forgotten what its name is, Rise of the Tomb Raider, I think. I'll play those games eventually, but they might even be PC exclusives. I might even like PC those. I don't know. I mean, they're on Xbox One, so I might just go to the console for those, but I don't know. I'll think about it. Obviously, I'll have to probably play them on PC because I played the first game on PC. It makes sense for kind of what this whole project was about. You know, I shouldn't go back on that with Tomb Raider, but we'll see what happens. I'm not really thinking about that right now, but it's something to think about. But yeah, I remember recording the first reboot game, and for the last, 10 parts, I'd recorded most of it no problem using the PC gaming tab. And then it was for my last 10 parts that the game audio completely didn't record. It recorded the gameplay and recorded my commentary, but for the last 10 parts or so, there was no game sound. And I didn't notice that because at the time, I didn't notice it because I was only working on one monitor at the time. Now, obviously, that's not going to be a problem anymore, because as you can tell, I'm on two monitors. So I could probably just use the PC gaming tab for now, see if it works. Maybe I'll run a test before we start. Maybe I'll run a test and see how PC gaming recording works. But generally, it never really worked for me. After the end of Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider 2013 playthrough. So, what I did for when I first recorded Project PC, before I wanted to postpone it for this setup reason, was that I used Advanced, and what I did was I picked, basically Realtek HD audio will be my headphones that I showed you. Now, the one thing, like I said in the latest channel update I did, was the problem I mentioned. Now, I mentioned that there was a problem with the audio from the commentary coming through my headset. Basically, I have everything plugged into my computer, and basically the sound card, for some reason, picks up everything. Now, that didn't really happen with my old setup, but for this one, it was pretty prominent. So what I decided to do was, I was worried this PC was going to be project was going to be put on hold because of this, because of this problem. What I basically did was, if I would talk into this microphone, you won't do it right now, but basically if I would talk into this microphone, I would hear my commentary coming through my headset. And that means, obviously, you guys would hear this as well. Now, obviously, with it muted now, you guys won't hear it. You'll only hear the gameplay and the commentary through one. But basically, we're going through this why am I doing that? It would pick through the headset as well, and that means you guys would hear an echo, because if I'm hearing it, you're going to hear what I hear through my headset, because that's what I picked. That's why I picked to have it here come out from. So my audio input will be none, because we're using a live commentary channel for that, by the way. I've unticked these because I do these randomly. Let me just do this. So basically I do something like this. I sort this out this way. So that's how that would work. And obviously I have the speakers from the Elgato and all that. So that's what I use for PC recording, by the way. But basically what I was saying was that if I'm talking right now and I had the microphone unmuted for the sound card, you guys would hear it. And that would be probably really annoying. Now, I didn't know how to fix it. I thought I was going to have to put Project PC on hold until May and then figure out with my uncle how to get it work. But I did it myself. It was rather random. What I decided to do, what you have to do, is open the volume mixer and literally mute the microphone. Now, fortunately, I haven't had my desktop audio recording this whole time, so you won't hear an echo. So fortunately, I've just realized that it was unmuted, but you guys wouldn't have heard it because I'm only using my mic audio through OBS. So you guys wouldn't have heard it anyway, I hope. That's what I'm kind of thinking anyway. But basically, yeah, all I would have to do before a recording session is just mute the microphone, and it should be all fine, because then it won't come through and it won't echo. So that's all I had to do. So I figured that out, and Project PC is back on, because obviously I don't want you guys to hear echo, because that would just be annoying. So that's basically it. So it's nothing really kind of new on the screen. If you know Elgato, you know what the studio looks like and all this. You know all this stuff. I'll see if PC gaming works, but if not, we can just use the advanced tab and just do that. It's much easier to probably do. I might just do it anyway, because it seems like much easier to set up than it looks. Trust me, this isn't as convoluted as it looks. All you do is pick the stuff you're coming out from, where you want to hear it, and you don't even have to assign anything here because it's already done. If you pick the Nano in this one, it probably wouldn't really work. Is that marked up that? No. Okay, but I don't think that really works. I think I tried that and it was like really, audio input was like really weird. I don't think game sound, maybe that's why game sound wasn't working. Maybe I need to adjust that, but we'll see. I'll probably just use this anyway, because I think it's like easier to set up, and I can monitor it better through here as well, because of my dual monitor setup. My chair keeps clicking now. But yeah, I would pick Blue Yeti Nano, type in the game, type in the stuff, process it, all this stuff. You're familiar with Elgato. I don't really have to say much if you guys are familiar with Elgato, but yeah, that's basically all that. That's all will be on this monitor. I'll just monitor it as we're playing. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. If I need to make any adjustments, I can do it on the fly. Dual monitor setup is a godsend. Seriously, it is complete godsend now that I can do this. I'm catching my cursor for some reason, but whatever. So that's it. That's pretty much everything. So now this dual monitor setup in this desk is here. It's absolute godsend. And I'm going to get some use out of this PC, because the one thing I want to show you quickly is just the specs of it, because I know some people were very curious about the specs of it, and I can't remember without reading my Twitch channel, so I would go into like manager or something, but I think there's a code on there that I don't really want to reveal just in case it's sensitive information. But is there anything here that shouldn't really be seen? No, not really. It's just, some sort of cookies thing. I don't know what that is. Why do they call them cookies anyway? Does anyone know that? So basically, yeah, let's highlight this. For anyone who's interested, I don't know if this is exactly right. My uncle will correct me in the comments if it's not. But basically, the PC specs I'll be running for these playthroughs, Intel Core i7 processor, something about -6700K, don't know what that means, probably very high power watts or something. That's the CPU. It runs at 4 gigahertz or 4.1, not really sure what that means. I'm not really sure what any of this means. I'm just going with basic information. I had a RAM change actually, because I used to have 16 gig of RAM. Now I only have 8, but the DDR is 4, and I think my 16 gig RAM had DDR3, so I'm basically running off the same thing. Basically 64-bit OS Windows, yeah, obviously. The graphics card is a 1066 gig. That's GeForce. I don't really know any of the others. I'm familiar with GeForce, so I'm just stuck with it. And obviously, as you saw, 1080p dual monitors and Trust CTX gaming keyboard and mouse. So this is obviously PC specific for PC gaming. So yeah, that's basically it. So for anyone who wants that, there is your answer. I'm probably completely wrong. As I said, my uncle will correct me in the comments section if I am. And after about an hour and 15 minutes, we are finally done. I'm very sorry this video took so long. I didn't really want it to, but then I ended up ranting about Epic Games. Well, not ranting, but you know, I ended up being kind of semi-annoyed with the whole situation involving the final season. I feel that Steam owners have got... Well, Steam owners didn't get screwed, because if you bought it on Steam before all that, you got to keep episode 3 and 4 for yourself on your Steam account. Unfortunately, I didn't, and I don't think there'll be any way I'll be able to. So I'll just have to buy it through Epic Games. It's no big deal. That's absolutely fine. And Season 4 isn't part of Project PC anyway, so it's not like a necessity. A necessity are the games you saw on my Steam library. So it's not really that big of a deal. That's something I can deal with. And it's only for one season. And then I'm pretty much done with the game anyway, because the series will be finished by then. The first 3 episodes are out. The fourth one is on its way. And day of recording of this, also Life is Strange 2 has 2 episodes, with the third on its way. So those 2 games are not part of Project PC. We're gonna recover all these other playthroughs first. So they'll be at a later date. So, as you will probably have noticed, this project could be going on until April. I didn't think we were gonna actually go longer than it would, but I think we might, because when you think about it, there's 4 episodes in Before the Storm if you count the farewell episode, the bonus one. Then you've got 5 in Life is Strange, so that would be, so let's add this up. So say we're recording March, so you've got the first 4 episodes. So that'd be, if I did an episode a day, I might even double up and do 2. It depends on when I can get around to recording. So basically, if I was to do 1 a day, you would get the first 4 episodes of, you would get the first 4, but the 4 episodes of Before the Storm. So that'd be, if it started today, then it would be, let's see. So in theory, if we started Before the Storm today with Farewell, and we did that, and then we did the first 3 episodes, that would take us up to the 4th. Then you've got the 5 episodes of Tales from the Borderlands, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's the 9th. And then you've got the following 5 seasons of, I think it would be The Wolf Among Us I do next, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's the 14th. And you can see where I'm going with this. And then you've got like the 1 season, let's say Jurassic Park, and so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's like 19th. And then you've got like Batman, and that's 5 episodes, like the 5 episodes of Batman season 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 24th roughly. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for season 2. That's 29th. I'm losing complete track. And then we go into April with The Walking Dead season 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're into April the 3rd when I finish recording that. Season 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 8th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's the 13th. Yeah, this is going to take a while, but that's fine because by the way, just to quickly show you video files, even though this isn't really interesting at all, video files will go in here. This is another reason why I postponed it, because now I have a specific hard drive for videos. You can see that I have literally nothing that I'm doing. You know, with the Michael Schumacher years and Coach Pop, they're all edited videos that don't take up a lot of space. I have literally started no playthroughs since I finished Resident Evil 2. Since I finished that, I've done no playthroughs at all, just to prepare for this. Now obviously you'll get 30-minute videos, and that won't be a problem anyway, because the videos will be much longer than they used to be. Because as I said, I've adopted 30-minute videos now. I find that to be better in terms of like uploading and stuff, like getting through playthroughs quicker. It's like Resident Evil 2's playthrough was only like 27 parts, and Resident Evil 0's playthrough was only 17. So obviously there'll be some cuts in those playthroughs, and I'm struggling. So I don't think we're gonna have any cuts in the story-based games, but I should get through them a lot faster. I mean, when I originally recorded Life is Strange Before the Storm, even though the episodes of Before the Storm were very long, especially the main season, not the farewell episode, but the main season of Before the Storm, the episodes were like 3 hours. So 1, 2, 3. So we'd only get like 6 parts roughly if it was 3 hours, and 2 half-an-hour videos a day, roughly. So it'd only be over in like 4 parts. It was like 40 by the end of the playthrough, and then Life is Strange 1 was like 65, and I was like, gee, you know what, maybe I should do longer videos so we can actually get through this faster. I mean, it wouldn't have helped back in the first recording, because I was probably going to have to postpone it anyway because of Smash coming out in December, which I've barely done any videos for. I haven't felt like playing the online. I don't think the online's that good, but I'll probably talk about that in a different video, because I don't want to make another kind of irrelevant part again. But yeah. But now, as today is March, the only thing that interests me is the beta for Mortal Kombat 11, so I'll have to get to pre-ordering that pretty soon to get into that. So that's the only thing. And then April has the Mortal Kombat coming out, but we're going to be still in the midst of Project PC by then. So I don't know what's going to happen. But like I said, that between now and say June, the only two things coming out that I'm interested in getting would be Mortal Kombat 11 and Crash Team Racing. So maybe we'll just split, say, we split Mortal Kombat like 11 story mode with the continuation of Project PC. I mean, that won't be too unusual, would it? I don't think so. But so yeah, so I've planned Project PC at a pretty good time. Really, it's good that I've postponed it because now we're in the midst of almost no games coming out, so I can focus entirely on this and get it done. I mean, I might even double up one day and just record more than one episode in a day if I get a chance to. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, I'm going to finally stop because we've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes. I do apologize. But like I said, this will probably go up very early on the morning of today. Well, today. Today is actually February 28th or 27th. I actually decided to record this a few days early and put it up and schedule it for 9 o'clock, 1st of March morning. I don't know why I'm mentioning this now because I mentioned what day it was at the beginning. But I thought I'd get this out of the way and record it and done. And then we can actually focus on like recording it when the time gets here. So, excuse me. So, starting probably immediately after this video will actually be farewell episode, I would have thought. That might actually go up today. We'll see. If not, then you'll obviously see it tomorrow or the 2nd of March if you don't see it today. So, and we'll get through that pretty quickly because that's relatively short. That'll probably be like 2 or 3 videos with the 30 minutes that I'm doing now. So that should not be a problem. Anyway, that's it. Project PC is a long undertaking, but I want to get some use out of this thing. And I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. I'm going to be using it for like a month straight recording shit. So, like I said, I was using it on and off for F1 2010 to 14 anyway, even though I'm not finished with that yet. But this will give me some more stuff to do on it. I want to get some use out of this thing. You know, I can't just have it sitting here not doing anything. I would have felt bad. Like I said, I felt bad that I wasn't using it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just do these story-based games on it because, you know, it's easy to like control and everything and stuff. You know, it's not like playing Ghost Recon Foundations or a first-person shooter where you have to randomly click and shoot. I can't deal with that shit. I haven't got the hand speed or coordination to do that. So, at least with Life is Strange and like Walking Dead and such, it's less strenuous on speed and shit. And you can take your time, so that's good. Alright, guys, so that's it. So, it's going to be a lot of PC footage going on from here on out. I'll see what I can do about splitting some other ones if something else comes out in the meantime. But predominantly from right now, is going to be all PC and it's going to be all story-based games. So if you're not into this kind of genre and don't want to see it, that's absolutely fine with me. That's cool. Just come back in like end of April or something when I eventually get to doing something else. I might split Mortal Kombat 11 with something. It depends. But I'll see. My schedule isn't really clogged, so it's all going to be kind of story-based from here for a while. I need to get these playthroughs back up on YouTube. Just because I enjoyed them so much, and removing them was I found that removing them was more necessary than I originally thought. You know, I deleted them and was like, you know what, that's not bad because the playthroughs I didn't like them anyway. How they turned out, I didn't like how they turned out. I mean, which is now we can all have it all under one thing and settings and all that. So you guys, it'll be easy to follow, I guess. So yeah, all story based and all PC from here on out for a while. And anything else, I would advise you to follow me on social medias, Discord, Twitter, all that stuff, to find out if anything will really change from here. So if you stick around and watch these games, thank you for doing so. I know it's going to be a bit kind of semi-repetitive, you know what I mean? It's only going to be one genre for a while. If you don't want to see it, that's absolutely fine. I'm cool, dude. You know, it's I know it can be very dull. Watching one type of game for so long, depending. And I'm not allowed entertainer like Vash, so that doesn't help. But I'll thank you for watching if you have done, or you will do, I should say. And if anything changes, I'll be sure to like in Discord and Twitter and let you guys know. So Thank you for sticking around for this update. Sorry it's been very long. Welcome to Project PC, and I'll see you guys for the first episode of Project PC, which will be the farewell episode for Life is Strange Before the Storm. Hope to see you guys there. If not, that's cool too. I'll see anyone who is there at the time. Peace out, guys, and as always, stay awesome. This has been Chaos, signing off.